Shalam. Brothers unite in Christ. Begging you with these words, the Bible.
Shalom, brothers united in Christ. We back at you today. We're coming with a lesson out of Deuteronomy 32. We're going to pick it up to 17th verse. I mean, it's food. This is what we need. The Lord said, man shall not live by bread alone. It's not about living a carnal lifestyle. It's not just about working and eating and running around the earth. It's also about this food, the spiritual food that we need to keep ourselves alive and kicking in the earth, right? Read what you got, Doc.
Deuteronomy 32 and 17. They sacrifice unto devils, not to the Most High, to powers whom they knew not, to new powers that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
Yeah, that's where we at today, 2015. A lot of brothers are worshiping devils. They really think they're serving the Lord, and they think that the religions that they join into is really honorable and is righteous. But in truth, the Lord's saying if you're not walking according to these commandments and statutes in the Bible, and according to the truth, the way He set it up, then you can only be walking with devils, right? Read on.
Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful. Thou hast forgotten the power that formed thee.
And this is the problem, because every day a man get up and he walk up and down in the earth, he get to see the sunrise, he get to eat, he get to run around and have his fun, but we forgot where all these things came from, where all these blessings came from, where the sun came from, where this food came from, right? Where the earth came from. And who deserves the praise? Who deserves the props? Who deserves the respect? It's the Most High. We can't forget the Most High. We can't forget the hand that feed us, right? We can't forget the Most High, and we don't want the Most High to forget us. So we want to keep locked in. We want to keep digging into these scriptures, and we want to keep growing in this word, right? Because we can't forget where we came from. We can't forget the Creator of the heaven and the earth, and we can't forget to give Him praise, right? Just like you can't forget to leave the house without your shoes and whatnot. You can't go to a wedding and you don't got the right garments. You can't forget about the Lord and you a man living in the earth. It's not going to work. Right? Read on.
Deuteronomy 32 and 19. And when the Lord saw it, He abhorred them, because of the provoking of His sons and of His daughters.
Yeah, man. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and you people of Indian descent, of Native Indian descent here in America, the Lord is saying we're His sons and His daughters. And He's mad at us. He's mad at us because we turned our backs on Him and we forgot about Him, right? Read on.
And He said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very forward generation, children in whom is no faith.
Yeah, the Lord said He was going to hide His face from us because we're very perverse, we're very wicked, and we don't believe, we don't have no faith, right? Over here, let me get Job 34 and 29. And the fact of the matter is the Lord did this to us as a nation of people where He hid His face from us, where we don't know the Lord no more. We don't know His ways. We don't know His righteousness. We don't know how to walk in the earth, right? And it's become real dark to us, where we were very confused as a nation of people to the point where we don't even know our nationality. We don't know our history. We don't know what we should be doing in the earth. It's gotten that far. But the fact of the matter is the Lord did that to us as a nation of people. He hid His face from us. He took His protection off from us. And we ended up going through a whole bunch of different captivities, a whole bunch of different slaveries here in the earth. Not just here in America, but to every other nation on this earth. We was been into captivity at some point in time, right? But the fact of the matter is the Lord is not dealing like He did before, where He humbled up us as a nation of people. He's dealing with every man individually. He's dealing with every man individually for his works, for what he did, right? Read what you got.
Job 34 and 29. When He giveth quietness, who then can make trouble?
Yeah, when the Lord quiet things down and He bring a hurricane or a storm, everybody go in their house and they shut their windows and they pray and hope the storm pass over and they don't get hurt, right? So when the Lord stir things up, nobody can stop Him, right? Read on.
And when He hideth His face, who then can behold Him?
Yeah, when the Lord hide His face from you, you got a problem. because you're going to be in the earth in darkness, in confusion, not knowing which way to go, which way is up. You know what I mean? Read on.
Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only.
Yeah, and the Lord could do this against a whole nation of people like he did unto us, but now he's dealing with us individually, right? On this side, let me get Jeremiah 11. Let me get that from 11 to 14. Over here, let me get Deuteronomy 31. Let me get that from 16 to 18. So it's not a light thing. We don't want to turn our backs on the Lord or forget about the Lord so that he gets to a point where he cut us off and he hide his face from us, because then now here comes the troubles. Here come our enemies. Here comes the problems. And we got no defense and we got no answers, right? Read what you got.
Jeremiah 11 and 11. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them.
Yeah, because the Lord has hid his face from us. He's turned his back on us and not his front, because we turned our backs on him and we forgot about him. And the Lord said he was going to bring problems upon us that we're not going to be able to escape. And here it is, 2015, we're in our enemy's land, here in America. We didn't come here by choice. We came here through deception, being overpowered and being lied to by the African and the Arab playing the middleman. And we're now in the land of our enemies. We're in all types of problems and we can't escape. We're in all type of distress. We're working and we can't get to the same level as the white man. I mean, we make our sacrifices and we're still not getting nowhere in America. The Lord set this up. We're not going to be on the level like the brother was bringing out in his lesson on high again until we all get back together as a nation of people and we serve the Lord in truth. Not according to religion, not according to our own feelings, not according to what a man made up. Right? Read on.
Then shall the city of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry unto the powers unto whom they offer incense, but they shall not save them at all in the time of the trouble.
So the Lord's saying that when he did bring the hammer down on Jerusalem, our hometown where we came from, because they teach in the earth we come from Africa, that's the homeland, but the homeland is Jerusalem. And the Lord is saying he brought destruction upon that land. And brothers and sisters, they ran to the religions of the other nations. They ran to the councils of the other nations. They ran to the powers and the gods of the other nations, and they weren't able to save them in that day when the Lord brought destruction on Jerusalem. Because all those powers of the other nation, all those philosophies that came from the other nation, they were all man-made. They were all idols, and they weren't the true and living power. So they couldn't save them, right? Just like today. A man can't be locked into religion. He can't be locked into the philosophy of America. He can't be locked into his own desires, his own emotions and feelings, and thinking that's going to get it right with the Lord. If you want to walk with the Lord, you got to walk according to how the Lord set it up. Through this Bible, through these scriptures, through righteousness, right? Read on.
For according to the number of thy cities were thy powers, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem have ye set up altars to that shameful thing, even altars to burn incense unto Baal.
Yeah, man, and without knowledge, it's like we keep repeating the same cycle. We keep going through the same confusion. Because here in America, we do the same thing where even in New Haven alone, you walk down the street, every corner you see a church. One church, a Baptist church, next church, an Episcopalian church. The Hispanics, they're more so into Catholicism. So you see them up in the Catholic church. Then you got people calling themselves Rastas. On the next side of the street, you see a mosque. The Muslims set up the church. The Lord is saying this is confusion. It shouldn't be like this. It's only one way to serve the Lord, and that's the way that we should be walking. And we shouldn't be setting up these idols. Because now when the trouble comes, none of these idols can save us because they're not real. They're all man-made. Something that came out of a man's heart, right? We should serve the Creator, the true power, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Most High that made the heavens and earth through Christ, right? Because Christ is our propitiation for sin. And no testament could be made without blood. So it was the shedding of Christ's blood that opened up the door so we can, have a connection with the Most High, right? Read on.
This is Jeremiah 11 and 14. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry of prayer for them. For I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble.
Yeah, so the Lord is saying he hid his face from brothers and sisters, where they're crying and they're praying unto the Lord, and they're wondering why the Lord isn't answering your prayers, right? The Lord is saying here is because we're crying through the Lord according to religion. We're crying through the Lord out of our own mind and our own desires. We're crying to the Lord according to Catholicism. And the Lord doesn't know any of those things. All those things are strangers to the Lord. If we're going to call unto the Lord, we got to call unto the Lord in truth and in sincerity, right? Read what you got on this side, Doc.
Deuteronomy 31:16. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a-whoring after the powers of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be amongst them.
Yeah, Moses prophesied this before he died. He said, I know you Negroes. I know you Hispanics. I know you Negroes. I know you people of Indian descent, that you are some stiff-necked people. You are some hard-headed people. And when I die, this is what Moses is saying, when I die, I know you people are going to go off and run around after their own, And it's the Lord that said this, right, through Moses. That he knew we was going to go off, that we was going to turn our backs on them, and that we were going to run after religion, and that we were going to forget the true power. Right? Read on.
Deuteronomy 31:16. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a-whoring after the powers of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be amongst them, and will forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them.
Yeah, that's why the Lord did make a New Testament through Christ. But who did he make this new covenant with, this New Testament? The same people that he made it with originally. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and people of Indian descent. Right? Read on.
Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them.
Yeah, this is what happened. The Lord did this. This is past tense. The Lord hid his face from us like we started off as a nation of people, and we went into slavery. We got humbled up. We got beat down by our enemies. We lost our land. They stole all the gold and the treasures out of our temple, and we were brought here to America and sold even here in New Haven and the green over here, the whole Amistad scene, and throughout America as bondmen and bondwomen, right? The Lord hid his face from us, where we had no protection, we had no defense, and we had no answers for our enemies, right? Read on.
Then my anger will be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, Are not these evils come upon us because our power is not amongst us?
Yeah, some brothers and sisters is going to say this. A lot of brothers and sisters don't recognize it. They see that we're doing bad in America. They see that we're being beat down. We're being shot left and right by the police. And some people, they still haven't come to this acknowledgement that it's the Lord that did all these things to us. But the Lord is saying here that some of us are. Even in the land of our captivities, we're going to remember ourselves, and we're going to say, isn't all this stuff happening to us because we turned our backs on the Lord? Right? Because that is why it happened to us. Right? Read on.
Deuteronomy 31:18. And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they have wrought, in that they are turned unto other powers.
Yeah, and that's where we at 2015. The Lord has hid his face from us. Again, not as a nation of people as he did in the past, but individually. Read that Job again. Read that Job 34:29. Right? He hid his face from us as a nation of people, and that's why we went through all the hard bondage and all the captivity that we went through in slavery. Over here, let me get Micah. Let me get that 3:1-11. Read what you got, Ock.
This is Job 34:29. This is Job 34:29. When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only.
Yeah, so now the Lord did it to us already, where he hid his face against us as a nation of people, but now it's individually. If you want to turn your back on the Lord is going to block you off individually, where you're not going to be able to see the Lord. You're not going to be able to know him. You're not going to feel his spirit. You're going to be confused in the earth, right? No light. Read what you got, Ock.
Micah 3:1.
You was right, Ike. Micah 3:1. Over here, what you holding? Let me get Isaiah 8. Let me get that 13-20. Pick it up, Ike.
Micah 3:1. And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment?
Yeah, the Lord is saying, you so-called Negroes that set up and got positions in the earth as leaders, you Al Sharptons, you Farrakhan's, you Creflo Dollars, all you so-called Negroes that's standing up as leaders. The Lord is saying that you should know this. You should know these scriptures, because this is the only way we're going to get it right as a nation of people. Not through activism, not through marching, not through protesting and all these things is not going to get it. The leaders of the people, they ought to know these scriptures. And that's how we're going to be saved. Through knowledge, through understanding, and wisdom. It's not going to be through fighting. It's not going to be through strength. It's going to be through the Spirit of the Lord. Read that again.
Micah 3:1. And I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and you princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment?
Yeah, we're supposed to know judgment. We're supposed to know this. How old are you? You know how long you've been in the earth, and you don't know the right from wrong. You don't know the judgment of the Lord, right? Read on.
Micah 3:2. Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones.
Yeah, this is what our leaders are doing. They're not teaching us our identity. That's how they're plucking our skin from off of us. They're not telling us who we are. They're telling us that we're African American. They're teaching the Bible according to how the so-called white men taught them, right? They're picking our flesh off of us. The flesh is representing the law and the commandments of the Lord. They're not teaching us these things. They're teaching us to protest, to march, and things like that. But they're not teaching us the laws and the commandments that's going to give us life, right? Read on. Read that verse again.
Micah 3:2. Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin from off them.
Yeah, and that's how the leaders and the heads of our people are. They eat the poor. All these people, Al Sharpton, where does he get the money to go and do the things he do? He collected from the poor people, the people that believe in him, that feel that his activism and the things he's doing is gonna be better for our people. So they contribute to him. They donate to this guy, right? And that's how he's eating us up. They eat us up, the Creflo Dollar. He goes up on the internet and he's asked for donations so he could get an airplane. This is how he's eating up the poor. This is how he's eating up the congregation. This is how he's flaying the skin from off of them and eating their flesh, right? Read on.
Micah 3:3. Who also eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin off them, and they break their bones, and chop them in pieces,
Right.
as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron.
Read on.
Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time.
Yeah, the Lord is not hearing them because, yes, the leaders are teaching the wrong things. They're not teaching us our identity. They're not teaching us these laws and commandments. But yes, you should be better than that to sit up and listen to them. You don't have to listen to the lies they're teaching. You can pick up this Bible yourself and dig into these scriptures. So you're unexcusable, the Lord is saying. So if you follow a leader and that leader leading you into a pit and you fall and you walk right behind that leader and fall with him, the Lord is saying you deserve that judgment, right? Read on.
Micah 3:4. Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, peace. And he that putteth not in their mouths, they even prepare war against him.
Yeah, so the Lord is saying he's against all these prophets that's talking about his peace. You know what I mean? Let's be at peace with our enemies. Let's deal peacefully with all people. And the Lord is calling for peace, but at the same time, it's like we have to be strong in the Lord. We can't be weak. We got to stand up strong for the Lord and for our people, and our prophets aren't doing that. And the lies that they're speaking, they don't come from the Lord because the Lord has hid his face from them. They don't have this knowledge. They don't have this truth. The wisdom, the stuff they speaking, it doesn't come from the Lord. It's coming from out their own hearts. It's coming from what they learned in seminary school. Right? Read on.
Micah 3:5. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, peace. And he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. Therefore night shall be unto them. Therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine. And the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them.
Again, because the Lord has hid their face from them. They don't know the righteousness. They don't know the right ways. They don't know the truth. So everything has become dark to them. They don't know. They can't prophesy anymore. All they could do is come up with lies because they're in darkness. They can't see anything else. So all these prophets, all these leaders, they're coming with lies. They're not coming with the truth out of the Bible. Right? Read on.
Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of the Most High.
Again, all these people, all these Miss Cleos, all these people that say they psychic so they can see the future, all these spiritual people that say that they know the Lord, they're lying because the Lord's saying there's only one way to get to him. And if they're not locking to him through these scriptures, then they're lost. They're in darkness. They're in confusion. And they really don't see the Lord. They really don't understand his ways. Right? Read on.
Micah 3:9. But truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord, and of judgment, and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression.
Yeah, the Lord is saying any brother that's standing up in the truth, that's standing up for him, he's going to juice them up. He's going to pour his spirit on them. And he's going to stand in the might and the spirit of the Lord. And he's going to speak the truth. And you got to listen to what he's saying, because if he's not speaking according to these scriptures, then it's a lie. It's not the truth, right? Read on.
And to Israel his sin. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all iniquity.
Again, he's talking about the princes. He talk about the prominent people amongst you so-called Negroes, you so-called Hispanics and Indians. The Lord is saying you guys are not playing your positions. You have a prominent role, but you're not speaking up for the Lord. You might be a politician, you know what I mean? And you're in a good seat where you can speak up and tell the truth, but you're not doing it. Or you might be a big-time athlete. You got big-time money, and you're in the public's eye, and you can put the truth out into the earth, but you're not doing it. You're co-signing with the ways of America and with the philosophies and the lies that's coming out of America, and you're not lifting up the Lord, right? So the Lord is saying he's against you, princes, amongst our people, right? Read on.
Micah 3:10. They build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire.
Yeah, that's how they do. They ask for donations. They ask for money. They go up in the church and they live off the church. They don't go and work a job. Yeah, they take the people. The Lord say you're supposed to pay tithes.
That's right.
You're supposed to pay tithes, but these people, they ask for more. They ask for donations. They ask for airplanes. They ask for all this extra stuff. So you see the preacher, he's riding in a Rolls Royce, yet the people in the churches is just barely getting by. This is how they're destroying our people. Read on.
Micah 3:11. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us?
Yeah, that's how they do in the churches. They do all these crooked things, and yet they say they save. They say they deliver. They're saying the Lord is in this church. The Lord is in this place. When we can see that as lies, right? When you really see these scriptures and try to match it up with the churches, you see it's not the truth, right? What you holding?
Yeah, they dress up on Sunday.
Read what you got.
On Sunday.
This is Isaiah 8:13. Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself. Let him be your fear, and let him be your dread.
Yeah, sanctify the Lord. Praise the Lord. Let him be your fear. Let him be your fear above all fears. And of course, fear is a natural emotion. It's a natural feeling. But the fact of the matter is, whatever you fear in the earth more than the Lord said he's going to bring it upon you. Because the thing you fear the most, the Lord said is going to come upon you. So if you fear the so-called white man, if you fear being broke or losing your job in the earth and these things, the Lord said he's going to bring those things upon you. So our chief fear, it should be the Lord, right? Read on.
And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense.
Yeah, it says the Lord is going to be a sanctuary. A sanctuary where he's going to be a place of rest, a place where you could come, and it's a holy place where you could come and you could learn about the Lord. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the Lord to be our sanctuary. But for the people that go against the Lord, they said he's going to be a rock of offense, right? It's going to be a rock where they're going to be tripping all over it, tripping all over this word, right? Read on.
And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Yeah, the same scripture, the same word. If you approach it through religion, if you approach it in a carnal way, the Lord is saying you're going to stumble all over it. You're not going to understand it. And this applies to both houses of Israel, because this is who the Lord gave the word to. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and those of Indian descent, right? Read on.
And many among them shall stumble and fall and be broken, and be snared and be taken.
And that's what's happening to you so-called children of slavery. You so-called descendants of those that was in captivity in North America, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean belt. We're being destroyed. We're tripping and we're falling all over the place. We're being snared because we're believing in their lies. And we're trapped in these philosophies and in these strongholds of religion. And now it doesn't appear like too many of us is going to get out of it, because the Lord has hit their face from them individually. And they can't see right. Right? Read on.
Bind up the testimony. Seal the law among my disciples.
This is what we should be doing. In this time right now, where it's a time of patience, where we're waiting for the Lord. So we're supposed to be binding up these laws. We're supposed to be locking these laws into us, into our ways, into our lifestyle. We're supposed to be sealing this word into our heart, into our mind, right? Read on.
And I will wait upon the Lord that hideth his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. Behold, I and the children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel.
Yeah, man, we should be looking for the Lord, because the Lord is our power. And without the Lord, we have no direction, right? No counsel. So this is who we're looking for. This is who we're waiting for. And the Lord's saying that we are his people. So in the earth, he said the nation of Israel is going to be for signs and for wonders. Because whatever happens with the nation of Israel affects the whole world. The Lord said that in all the divisions of the earth, he said he divided. Give me that Deuteronomy 32:8. He said in the divisions of the children of men, he divided all the people, but he said Israel as his point. Read it.
Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam and set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Yeah, or the Lord, he set the bounds of the people, or he set the parameters, or he set the guidelines, or he set the rule books according to the nation of Israel. So what's going on with the nation of Israel affects the whole world. That's why the Lord said we're going to be in signs. Every nation we were in captivity to, they became world powers. So you got to keep our land. They're always watching Jerusalem. They always talk about peace in the Middle East. They're always fighting over that land, because they know the Lord set us up to be signs in the earth. Because whatever happened with the nation of Israel is going to affect the whole earth, everything that's going on. And the earth is never going to be locked back into righteousness until we reclaim our spot, until we rise back up to our statue that we used to have. Right? Read on.
This is Isaiah 8 and 18. Behold, I and the children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel, from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that people and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their power, for the living to the dead?
Yeah, man, because we're living in the times where the Lord hid his face from us, so we're confused and we're dark. And brothers and sisters are saying, okay, go ahead and read the Zodiac. Go get your counsel for your week, how your week is going to go by your Zodiac in the paper. Or they say, go talk to Miss Cleo. Go see if she can instruct you on which way to go, because you don't know, because it's dark, because the Lord hid his face from you. But the fact of the matter is, we should be seeking unto the Lord for these answers. We should be seeking unto the Most High for these counsels, because all wisdom, understanding, and knowledge that come from on high. Right? Read on.
Isaiah 8 and 20. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
They can't see. If a brother's coming to you and he's talking about anything spiritual, or anything good, or anything righteous, and he's not bringing up these scriptures, he's not bringing up the Lord, he's not bringing up the Christ, and he's not bringing up the Most High, then there's no light in him. The Lord has hid his face from that brother, and that brother is confused in the earth. Right? Over here, let me get Isaiah 59. Let me get it from 1 to 8. Over here, let me get Ezekiel. Let me get 39. Let me get it 21 to 27. Because we are a confused people. We're a lost people. They call us the lost 12 tribes. Why are we lost? Because the Lord he's hid his face from us. So we don't see the Lord no more. We don't know the Lord no more. We don't know how to please the Lord anymore. All these things are hid from us. So now we're just trying to rekindle that in us, in our brothers and our sisters, so we can remember who we are and what we should be doing. Right? Read what you got.
Isaiah 59 and 1. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear.
Yeah, 2015, the Lord still got power. Don't believe what they say that there is no power or that we came from apes and these things. It's still about the Lord. If you weaken the earth, if you loosen the earth and you need strength, you got to call upon the name of the Lord through Christ, because his hand is not shortened and his spirit is not strained. His power is still omnipotent, right? It's still all powerful, right? Read on.
But your iniquities have separated between you and your power, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear.
So then it's our sins. It's because of our shortcomings. It's because of our weaknesses that the Lord has hid his face from us, and we're not able to get good things. So all we got to do, fine, we didn't know. The Lord hid his face from us, but now you hear the truth. What are you going to do now? You gotta prove it, right? Use it in your life. See if it'll work for you, right? See if it'll pump you up. See if it's true or if it's a lie, right? Read on.
For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue have muttered perverseness.
And this is why the Lord is hid from us, because we've done all these things. We got to change our ways. We got to stop lying and start telling the truth. We got to start stealing and save up our own stuff so that we could be in a position to give and to be a giver, right? And to walk uprightly, right? Read on.
None hath called for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies.
Yeah, this is what people do on the earth. They trust in vain things. They trust in temporal things that's not going to last. They trust in bank accounts. People, they trust in their gun. Some people, they trust in that they're smarts. Like they're so smart, they're going to outsmart everybody else in the earth and make it on the top. But the Lord is saying you can't trust in lies. You can't trust in vanities, because those things are not real, right? And they're not going to last forever. But the truth and this word of the Most High, this is going to last forever, right? Read on.
Isaiah 59:4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. They hatch cockatrice eggs and weave the spider's web. He that eateth of their eggs dieth, and that which is crushed breaketh out into a viper.
Yeah, this is all the wicked inventions. This is all the plans. This is all the evil that these wicked people on the earth come up with. This is your Illuminatis. This is your New World Order. This is your CFR. These people, they come up with plans on how to destroy the poor and how to build themselves up to be a one world government, one world power. But the fact of the matter is, just because they set these webs for us, just because they set these traps for us, the Lord isn't going to let them all come to pass. Just because they got these plans set up for a New World Order and for Illuminati and for these rich people to run the earth or whatnot, the Lord is not going to let all their plans come to pass. Right? Read on.
Their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works.
Right.
Their works are works of iniquity, and the acts of violence is in their hands.
That's how they deal. They're on power. They got the power right now, so they deal as wickedly as they want. But us, we can't follow them. We got to walk uprightly. Even though they're dealing wickedly against us, we can't act like we're going to outdo the wicked man in America. We got to stick to the right and walk with the Lord, right? Read on.
Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings.
This is how the wicked is. Their thought is about wickedness. A wicked person, he wake up every day, he's not satisfied till he do some evil, till he done lie to somebody and trick them, till he done rob somebody out their money. This is how the wicked is, and this is how they thought is. Even how we went over it in Genesis 6. A man from his youth, all he think about is evil continually. So the only way we can fight against that is with the truth, with the spirit, with these words, filling our heads up with these scriptures to fight against the evil thoughts, to fight against the lust, to fight against the temptations, right? Read what you got out.
The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever go therein shall not know peace.
They don't know peace. You can't know peace and know wickedness at the same time. You got to separate. You got to step from outside of that wickedness to really truly understand how evil those things are and how despicable those things are, right? And that's what we need to do. We need to separate ourselves from the evil, right? And we need to pump ourselves up in this truth so the Lord doesn't hide his face from us individually or as a nation of people. What you holding out? Ezekiel 39 and 21 to 27. Over here, let me get Isaiah 57. Let me get that from 11 to 21, right? Isaiah 57, 11, 21. Read what you got, bro.
Ezekiel 39 and 21. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them.
Yeah, so the heathen is going to see the glory of the Lord. What's the glory of the Lord but his people? But you so-called Negroes, you Hispanics, and you people of Indian descent, you're the glory of the Lord. The Lord said he was going to send us amongst the heathen so that we could be a light unto the Gentiles, right? Read on.
So the house of Israel shall know that I am the Lord their power from that day and forward. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hide I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies.
Yeah, so the Lord is saying he set this up so they're going to know. He's going to bring it out in the end. In the last days, he's going to let them know that it wasn't the so-called power of the white man, it wasn't his so-called weapons, it wasn't his fighting strategy, or any of these things. It was the Lord that sold us into his hands, right? Because right now they take credit for it, they're proud. They feel like they're the #1 nation, like they could come through and bomb out any nation and rule. But it was the hand of the Lord that did these things to us, because the Lord hid his face from us, right? That's why we're in the predicament we're in right now in America, today, right? Read on.
So fell they all by the sword. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore thus saith the Lord power. Therefore thus saith the Lord power. Now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel.
So the Lord is saying he's going to bring back the captivity, or he's going to take the shackles off of us. He's going to take us out of America, and he's going to bring us back to our own land. And he's going to reveal his face to us, and he's going to show us his light. He's going to show us his statutes and his commandments, and he's going to show us the highway to walk in, right? Read on.
Therefore thus saith the Lord power. Now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my whole name. For my holy name. After that they have borne their shame in all their trespasses, whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwell safely in their land, and none made them afraid.
So the Lord said we got to bear our shame. We got to bear our punishment. We got to do our time. We got to do our bit. Yes, things look dark for us. It look bleak for us. It look bad for us. But the Lord's saying he's going to deliver us out of all of this. And he's going to put us back in our land. And we're no longer going to be on the bottom, but we're going to be on the top, where the Lord set it up to be originally. But we wanted to turn our backs on him. We need to stop turning our backs on the Lord, right? Read on.
When I have brought them again from the people, and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations.
So the Lord is saying he's going to gather you so-called children of slavery, you so-called Hispanics, you so-called Negroes, you so-called Indians. The Lord is saying he's going to gather you out of the four corners of the earth. He's going to show you his ways. He's going to show you what's right. He's going to show you what's wrong. And he's going to put us in our own land. And our rulers are going to be of our own people. We're no longer going to be servant to other people. We're not going to be having other people's pictures on the money. It's going to be run by us. Our king is going to be David. Right? Christ, he's going to be our king. The Most High is going to rule. He's going to set up his kingdom on earth. Right? Read what you're holding, Ak.
57:12. Isaiah 57:11. And of whom hast thou been afraid or feared, that thou hast lied, and hast not remembered me, nor laid it to thy heart? Have not I held my peace even of old, and thou fearest me not? I will declare thy righteousness and thy works.
So the Lord is saying, who are you afraid of? That you don't want to stand up and serve the Lord. Who is you scared of? You scared of what other people think? Are you scared of what your boss think? You scared of what your woman think, that you can't humble up and serve the Lord? Is it something to be shameful to do right? Shouldn't you be shamed to do something wrong? The Lord is saying we got our heads, our whole mindset is all screwed up and all turned upside down by philosophy and by the lies that's taught in the earth. Right? Read on.
And of whom hast thou been afraid or feared, that thou hast lied, and hast not remembered me, nor laid it to thy heart? Have not I held my peace even of old, and thou fearest me not? I will declare thy righteousness and thy works, for they shall not profit thee. When thou criest, let thy companies deliver thee. But the wind shall carry them all away, vanity shall take them. But he that putteth his trust in me shall possess the land, and shall inherit my holy mountain.
Right? So the Lord is saying he's not going to hear your cries, or he's going to hide his face from you. He's not going to listen. He's not going to want to hear all your cries, because you're locked into these other religions, you're locked into these other nations, and the Lord is saying that's who you need to go. You need to go to those people, to those companies to save you, since you put so much trust, since you put so much hope in man, and in your companions in the earth, and you put no trust in the Lord. Right? Read on.
Isaiah 57:14, and shall say, cast ye up, prepare the way, take up the stumbling block out of the way of my people. For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabiteth eternity.
Yeah, the Lord is saying that he is going to take these stumbling blocks out from us. He's going to take all these philosophies, all these lies, all these things that we're tripping on in America, all the deceptions, all the confusion. The Lord is saying he's going to remove those things. And we're going to be able to see his face clearly. We're going to be able to see through the dark with the light. Right? Read on.
For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabiteth eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place, with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble, and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. For I will not contend forever.
Yeah, so the Lord is saying that's the type of brother he's looking for, a brother that's humble, that's sincere, that's not about the deception, that's not about the lies, that's not about the game, that truly believe in the Lord and make moves for the Lord, and that walk with the Lord. That's who he's looking for, a contrite spirit, a humble and a contrite spirit. But not every man has that in them, right? Read on.
For I will not contend forever, neither will I always be wroth, neither will I be always wroth. For the spirit should fail before me, and the souls which I have made.
Yeah, so the Lord's saying he's not going to be angry forever, because if the Lord was angry forever and he pulled back his spirit, everybody's going to fall. Everybody would be dead. Everybody be in darkness. So the Lord is saying he's not going to hold his anger forever against his people, his chosen. Right? He said he's going to have mercy on them. Read on.
For the iniquity of his covetousness was I wroth, and smote him. I hid me, and was wroth, and he went on forwardly in the way of his heart.
So the Lord is saying he hid himself from us in punishment, and yet we didn't recognize it. We still went on in our wickedness, we still went on in our madness, and the Lord had to punish us more and more and more, from captivity to captivity, right? Breaking us down, beating us up. And we're still not seeing the light. We're still not seeing the face of the Lord. Right? Read on.
I have seen his ways, and will heal him. I will lead him also, and restore comforts unto him, and to his mourners.
Yeah, so the Lord is saying if you be of that contrite spirit, if you humble yourself up, he will lead you unto righteousness. He will lead you unto the truth. He's not going to leave you forsaken in America, right? Read on.
I create the fruits of the lips. Peace. Peace to him that is far off, and to him that is near, saith the Lord.
Yeah, it's the Lord that created the fruits of the lips. He's the one that put wisdom in a man's mouth. He's the one that put knowledge and understanding so it falls out of a person's lips. It's the Lord that do that. When he pumped you up, when he got you in his light, when he got you in his spirit, when he's not hiding his face from you, right? Read on.
I create the fruit of the lips. Peace. Peace to him that is far off, and to him that is near, saith the Lord. And I will heal him. But the wicked are like the troubled sea, when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, saith my power, to the wicked.
There's no peace to the wicked, because they're always doing wickedness. They're always occupied in something wrong. They're always wondering who saw them when they made their last steal. They're wondering what lie they told last week, and how am I going to remember it so I can cover up it with another lie. There's no rest into the wicked. They're always occupied in wickedness, and the thoughts of their mind are miserable, right? What you holding out? You not holding anything? Let me get Tobit 13, 1-6. Over here, let me get 2nd Ezra. Let me get it 1. I want it 21-34. Right? Because the fact of the matter is the Lord has hid his face from us, and the only way we're going to be able to see the Lord is by locking into the truth. Most people, they don't know the Lord, they don't know what's pleasing unto the Lord, they don't know the scriptures The scriptures they do know were taught by the precepts of men, and they really don't know the Lord, and they haven't seen the face of the Most High. Right? Read what you got.
Tobit 13:1. Then Tobit wrote a prayer of rejoicing and said, Blessed be the Most High, that liveth forever, and blessed be his kingdom. For he doth scourge and hath mercy.
Yeah, the Lord scourged. He done beat us down as a nation of people, brought us into diverse captivities. Even today, we're getting shot left and right as a nation of people by the police, by our enemies, right? But the Lord's saying the same way he's scourging us and beating us down, the same way he's going to have mercy on us and lift us back up, right? Read on.
He leadeth down to hell and bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand.
Right?
Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them.
So the Lord's saying the white man too, teach him the Bible too. The policeman, they all need salvation too. The African, whosoever, they can come into this truth, but they got to come into it accordingly. They got to come into it according to how the Lord set it up. It's going to be the Jew first and then the Gentile, right? Read on.
Then declare his greatness, and exalt him before all the living. For he is our Lord, and he is the power our Father forever.
Right? It hasn't changed. He's still the same power he was back then, and he's still dealing the same way today. Right? It hasn't changed. The law hasn't changed. These things are still in effect. These things are still righteous. These things can still juice you up. Right? Read on.
And he will scourge us for our iniquities, and will have mercy again, and will gather us out of all nations among whom he hath scattered us.
Yeah, so the Lord say we're in a time of punishment now, but it's going to be a time of mercy, and he's going to deliver us from all corners of the earth where we've been scattered, because we have been scattered primarily through war, through captivity and slavery. A lot of people have changed their places in the earth, but the Lord is saying no matter where you are in the earth, he's going to gather you because you're his chosen people. And this is his plan from the beginning, right? Read on.
If you turn to him with your whole heart and with your whole mind and deal uprightly before him, then will he turn unto you.
Yeah, so you can't half step or you can't be doubting or faithless. The Lord is saying jump all the way in. Submerge your whole self. Jump into it. Wholly. Believe in him. And the Lord is going to pump you up, right? Read on.
If you turn to him with your whole heart and with your whole mind and deal uprightly before him, then will he turn unto you and will not hide his face from you.
Yeah, so you got to turn unto the Lord wholly, but you also got to deal uprightly. You got to leave off the sins. Fine, you didn't know that certain things was wrong, but now when you come into the Lord and you seeing what's right and what's wrong, slowly but surely, you're going to leave off all the evil and pick up all the good, right? Read on.
Therefore see what he will do with you, and confess him with your whole mouth, and praise the Lord of might, and exalt the everlasting King. In the land of my captivity do I praise him, and declare his might and majesty to a sinful nation. Right. O ye sinners, turn and do justice before him. Who can tell if he will accept you and have mercy on you?
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know, so you just do. You do all that you can with your whole heart. You're not half-stepping. You're not double-minded. You got your eyes single. You're walking a straight path. And the Lord is going to pump you up. He's not going to hide his face from you or make you confused in the earth without wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He's going to show you. He's going to show you and guide you and give you counsel and everything you need to make it through this life. Right? What you holding over here, bro? The second Ezra 1? Over here, let me get 2 Corinthians 4. Let me get that 1 to 6. Read on.
21, right?
Yeah.
2 Ezra 1 and 21. I divided amongst you a fruitful land. I cast out the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Philistines before you. And what shall I yet do more for you, saith the Lord?
So the Lord is saying, like when we first came into that land of Jerusalem, he said he cast out all these African nations so you so-called Israelites can have a place to be and to serve the Lord. And the Lord is saying, what more can I do for you? I took all your enemies out of your way. I gave you a land. I gave you a temple. I gave you laws, commandments, and statutes. What more can I do for you to get you right? Right? Read on.
Thus saith the Almighty Lord, when you were in the wilderness, in the river of the Amorites, being athirst and blaspheming my name, I gave you not fire for your blasphemies, but cast a tree in the water and made the river sweet.
So the Lord said we're in the wilderness. We don't got no food to eat. We don't got no water to drink. And everybody's faithless, and they doubt in the Lord that just brought them through the Red Sea. Now they're in the wilderness and they're murmuring. They're speaking against the Lord. Oh, the Lord should have left us in Egypt. We was better off in Egypt. You people are faithless. The Lord is saying that he made the water sweet for you. He turned the corruptible water that was undrinkable sweet for you in the wilderness so that you wouldn't die in the wilderness, right? Those 40 years. Read on.
What shall I do unto thee, O Jacob? Thou Judah, thou Judah wouldest not obey me. I will turn me to other nations,
Right.
and unto those will I give my name, that they may keep my statutes.
Right, read on.
Seeing ye have forsaken me, I will forsake you also. When ye desire me to be gracious unto you, I shall have no mercy upon you.
So again, the Lord is hiding his face. He's not hearing your cries. He's not hearing your prayers because you're not hearing him. And you're not changing none of your ways. And you're not giving no respect or honor to the Lord that's giving you water to drink, that's giving you food. Like we started off, it's not by bread alone and by a material lifestyle or carnality that you're supposed to live your life. It's also about the Lord. You got to make some time and some place for the Most High and for Christ, right? Read on.
Whensoever ye shall call upon me, I will not hear you. For ye have defiled your hands with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter.
Yeah, you don't want to come and sit down and hear this word, but you swift to go watch a fight. You swift to go put your hands in the pot with some people doing some corrupt things. You love doing that, but you don't love this word, right? Read on.
Ye have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Lord.
Yeah, it's not the Lord that you're hurting with you being wicked and with you being foolish and running around the earth in confusion. You're not hurting the Lord, you're hurting yourself. You're putting a bad name on our people, on his holy name, right? Read on.
Thus saith the Almighty Lord, have I not prayed you as a father his sons, as a mother her daughters, and a nurse her young babes?
Yeah, that's how we started off too. Lord said that he's mad at his sons and his daughters. We are his sons and his daughters, you children of Israel, right? You children of captivity and slavery. You're the ones that the Lord put there before your disobedience, right? Read on.
That ye would be my people, and I should be your power. Right. That ye would be my children, and I should be your father.
Right.
I gathered you together, as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. Right. But now, what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face.
Yeah, the Lord said he was going to cast us out from his face because he got tired. He got tired. It would be too disobedient, too hard-headed, too stiff-necked. We don't want to listen. So the Lord said he was going to hide his face from us. He was going to turn his back on us. And now here comes all the problems. Here come all the adversities. Here come all the troubles. Right? That's why we're having all these problems. Right? Read on.
When you offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. And your solemn feast days, your new moons, and your circumcisions have I forsaken.
Yeah, the Lord said he's not dealing with us. He didn't remember. He's not having respect to any of our holy days and these things. He said he's turned his face against us. He's turned his back into us because we did the same thing to him, right? And he's not going to turn it around and start dealing with us, start looking upon us, start shining his light on us until we turn back to him, right? Read on.
I sent you my servants, the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain and torn their bodies in pieces.
So the Lord's saying he sent you righteous men. He sent you Isaiah. He sent you Ezekiel. He sent you all these prophets. He sent you Christ. And all you did was kill all his prophets. And all these men, that's all they're doing is come to testify the truth and to testify the Most High and to testify the coming of his son. And all you want to do is destroy them, right? And speak against them, right? Read on.
I sent you my servants the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Almighty Lord, your house is desolate. I will cast you out, as the wind doth stubble, as the wind doth stubble, and your children shall not be fruitful, for they have despised my commandments, and done the thing that is evil before me.
Yeah, so that's why our children, our young men and our young women today are walking in the earth, sitting on the corners, nothing to do, no knowledge, no guidance, no wisdom, no counsel. Again, because we turned our backs on the Lord, and we turned our face away from him. What you holding? You're holding that Corinthians, right? Read what you got.
2 Corinthians 4:1. Therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not.
Yeah, so the fact that we do have this knowledge, the fact that we do have this Bible, these scriptures, this ministry, it's our strength. This is our confidence. We're not believing in America. We're not believing in our weapons, our guns. We're not believing in our fighting skills. We're believing in the Lord, because that's where we're getting all our strength from. That's where the Spirit is coming from, right? Read on.
But have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of the Most High deceitfully, but by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience.
Yeah, because we got this ministry, we got this knowledge, so we know what's wrong. And we've denounced those things of darkness. We left those things off. We want to deal with the light. And we want to commend it to every man's conscience. So how? By our example, by us walking uprightly, by us coming out and teaching, by us teaching the truth. We want these things to hit you in your head. We want you to consider these things, right? Read on.
Commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of the Most High.
Right? Because that's the name of Israel. That's the blessing that Israel got. Jacob, he wrestled with an angel. His name got changed to Israel. The name Israel in Hebrew is Yasha'Allah. It means prince. Prince of power with man and with the Most High. So it's through the nation of Israel where we're going to get back that connection between man and the Most High. Right? Read on.
But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
Yeah, if our gospel is hid, it's hid to brothers and sisters that's against the Lord, that's walking in wickedness. And they're caught up in the wickedness and the darkness that they can't see the Lord. They're lost in the earth, and they can't see the face of the Lord. It's like it's hid from them. They don't understand him. They don't understand his ways. They don't know them. Right? Read on.
In whom the Most High of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of the Most High, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them.
Yeah, so some people on this earth is blinded. They're blinded by the wickedness they're doing. They can't see because of the evil that they're in. And they'll never understand this word. Some of them, they'll never see the face of the Lord. Right? Some of them, they're never going to come out of it. But our prayer is that our people will hear these words and that they're going to escape from all the philosophies, all the lies and the confusion that's taught in the earth. That's our hope, right? Read on.
For we preach not ourselves, but Christ Yahushua the Lord, and ourselves your servants for Yahushua's sake.
Yeah, we don't come up here and preach to you about us. We don't talk about, our personal lives and things of that nature, unless it's matching up with the scriptures and we want to show you an example. But when we come out here, it's all about the Most High through Christ. That's what it's all about. We're telling you that Christ was your brother. He looked just like you. He wasn't that picture of the stringy-haired, blue-eyed guy. That was Caesar Borgia, right? That wasn't Christ. Christ looked just like us. He's from our people, and that's who we lifting up. Read on.
The Most High, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of the Most High in the face of Yahushua Christ.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to shine light to our people in the sight of the Most High, who's the judge of all. And that's what we want to do. We want to clear up this darkness so that we can understand the Lord, so we know what's pleasing unto the Lord, so we can see the Lord. Because brothers and sisters, they don't see the Lord. They don't know the Lord. His face is hid, right? And that's the lesson. Brothers united in Christ. Shalom.